Hello and welcome to all of our GOLD viewers who are here with us today. Welcome to GOLD Lactation. I'm Kristen Schwarz, a licensed midwife and MC here at GOLD. And today with me is Dr. Cecilia Tomori. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. Dr. Cecilia Tomori. Welcome here at GOLD. And I'm looking forward to chat with you about your upcoming presentation here for the GOLD Lactation Online Conference.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Wonderful to have you here at GOLD. Your presentation is quite special. It is a two-part presentation and an interactive kind of workshop style as well. It has an element in there too, and we're going to talk about that in just a minute. First of all, let us know where in the world are you located. And we chatted a little bit. You have quite the weather where you are right now, right?
Yes, we're having a dynamic weather day today, but we, in lactation world, we know how to pivot to unexpected circumstances, and it is relevant to the presentation. But yes, so I'm outside of Baltimore right now.
Yes. So you're right in the area of the winter storms there. And now my next question is, let us also know a little bit about your background here for our viewers who have not yet met you.
Sure, absolutely. So I'm actually from Hungary. I grew up behind the Iron Curtain, immigrated to the US, and ended up studying anthropology. So my PhD is in anthropology, and that's my main sort of framing for a lot of the work that I do. I work both in sociocultural and biological anthropology. I try to bring those two pieces together in all the work that I do. And then I also have training in public health. So I'm fairly interdisciplinary, and I try to incorporate all these different perspectives for the presentation for you.
That sounds fantastic. Interdisciplinary, yes. And also putting all these pieces of the puzzle together, which is very, very important for this upcoming presentation because it is quite complex. And the title is Examining the Roots of the Formula Crisis and Insights on Ending Exploitative Marketing for the 2023 Lancet Breastfeeding Series. Oof, that's quite a mouthful there. And but you are going to break it down for us really, really well to make a very complex issue, very emotional issue for many of our viewers here as well, who've been maybe following the formula crisis. Break it down and able to really dive deeper into it. And that's why we have 2 hours with you, right, Cecilia?
Yes. So I was asked to do the 2-hour version, and I think because we have so many things to talk about, it makes a lot of sense. But they are interconnected issues. So I'm hoping that by unpacking some of the, headline making news and, the complex issues that they're really more like a tip of the iceberg, I think of them. And it allows us to kind of unravel some of the stories behind it and then get into the larger insights that we have developed through the Lancet Breastfeeding series.
Absolutely. Just quickly talking about the formula crisis, just in a brief, maybe a quick summary for our viewers. What is it? What is it exactly? Just so we get a quick overview for some of our viewers here.
Yeah. So the main issue really was corporate misconduct and essentially problems with the safety practices particularly in this one plant in Sturgis, Michigan. So for international viewers, this is in the middle of the United States, but it is a plant that processes a lot of the formula that is made in the United States. And the corporation in question is Abbott, and Abbott supplies a vast portion of the formula for the entire United States, as well as to other countries. And so the safety issues there resulted in the death and disability of infants. And it was really an issue, particularly of bacterial contamination, but again, longstanding safety violations that were uncovered once some of these particular cases were discovered and reported to the FDA, which is the regulatory body in the United States that oversees the production of food and drugs in the United States. And so that caused essentially a pause on production. The company was warned. The company chose to do what's called a voluntary recall, but obviously not entirely voluntary, because they were sort of under pressure to do this pause production, and that resulted in shortages across the entire United States as well as elsewhere. And we have basically been dealing with this in various phases of it for an entire year. So even as we speak today in March, we still have some supply issues related to this. And of course, a whole series of investigations and consequences that we'll talk about in the presentation.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for that a compact overview here of a very complex topic, and a very real topic that impacted families, with heartbreaking outcomes as well. And I do believe here in the field of lactation, we definitely have to understand this issue, because we are serving families out there and who have been impacted by this issue. So we really need to really dive deeper into this and fully understand what's going on, and also maybe investigate what can be done, what can we also in the field do in our profession. That would be idyllic to say. There is no guarantee that this will never happen again, right? That would be wrong to say, but maybe us being prepared and us knowing and being informed is definitely important for future developments there as well.
I think that that's actually one of the main messages that I'm hoping to help delegates understand, is that even though we may not be able to address all systems issues all at once, and obviously policy changes take a long time, by understanding that what the underlying issues are and the crises that we're facing. And this is why I was saying, the weather issues are quite relevant, because a lot of these issues have cross-cutting implications with various forms of emergencies that we're facing that are accelerating in light of the climate crisis. And so I think all of these pieces together can help us understand, what the processes are in question, how we might be able to influence policy, but also how we can support communities when, unfortunately not if, but when these kinds of situations arise. I think having that in view is really helpful. And while we are also working on the larger policy objectives that address safety regulations, that address the entire infant feeding system, and that where we really get into the Lancet insights about holding corporations accountable for marketing practices that actually undermine breastfeeding and make people reliant on products whose safety may be in question.
Yeah, I find that quite eye-opening. And also you are really drawing us in, the audience here in your presentation, to really participate and really think deeply and think things through, and come up with some of their own, aha moments, or moments of, okay, so I can take this into the field or make a change here, or even on a small scale. It does not, as you mentioned, we can't always do the big things, but we can contribute in smaller ways. So that's what I really like about your two-part series here at GOLD, that you really get us involved as well.
Yeah, I really look forward to that. I think one of the things that's so important as we engage, in this virtual space, and obviously GOLD was already doing this before, everybody went virtual during the acute phases of the pandemic. But one of the things that I think I really value about this kind of interactive format is precisely this. I think that it's really important for us to have these kinds of conversations, and to really feel empowered by those conversations and come together and build bridges across different people, because together, our voices are much more powerful than alone. And so those of us working on this, across, continents and different kinds of settings, we need to be able to come together and interact to be able to take the action that we need to take, and to build the kind of resources that we need in our communities and on the larger stage. So I think that the interactive component will help us do that, and I'm really excited about that.
Cecilia, that sounds wonderful. I really agree. Our voices together are powerful and coming together in this. Dr. Cecilia Tomori, thank you so much for sitting down here with me and talking about the horrible weather, how that is impacted, also what that has to do with our topic here in lactation and pivoting, and of course your topic here for the GOLD Lactation Online Conference. It was a pleasure sitting down here and talking with you.
Thank you so much. Pleasure is mine.
And for our viewers now, if you would like to find out more information on this presentation and all the other presentations in the GOLD Lactation Online Conference of 2023, we invite you to go to goldlactation.com. We get started here in just a couple of weeks. On April 3rd, we have an open access keynote presentation that is available to view for everyone. So make sure you sign up for that, and please share that also with your colleagues and friends in the field. And I hope to see you at the keynote, and I hope to see you, of course, all at this Dr. Cecilia Tomori's conference presentation and the entire conference. So I hope to see everyone there. Bye-bye.